beloved and holy and only child extension of the one creative source. Child of light, divine. That is who you are. Take it deeply within the consciousness and contemplate what that means. Child of light, divine, from before time began. And most wondrous child that you are. I am the one known as Jeshua ben Joseph. Jesus, you have called me. And it is in great joy that I come to abide with you this evening in your timing, as you have chosen once again to call me forth. Great joy of reunion. Great joy of being. To be able to allow your light to shine, to feel the melding of the light one with another in the hugs that you give, and the intellect that serves the light. Because truly you use the intellect to make your path through the physical. You allow the mind to be the servant of the heart. And the mind is very busy. When you allow yourself to abide in the heart, to feel the peace of the heart, there is a knowing that goes beyond the mind. It goes to truly the divinity of you. It goes truly to the oneness that you are. It goes to that space that abides forever, beyond every physical incarnation of one form or another. Because truly, you have known the incarnations in all different forms. And you have come into this incarnation, and you have fashioned for yourself a most wondrous physicality to be able to walk, to run, to go up and do the most wonderful, what you call the on two planks of the wood skiing, it is called, and to go very, very speedily, more than 1 foot after another, although sometimes you do that in the snow as well. But to be able to feel the energy of the Divine One activating the physical form. All sizes and shapes of physical form, as you have changed throughout the lifetime. And you feel yourself to be new from time to time, as you will take on something new, a new activity, wanting some of the music to go along with the new activity of allowing the body to be energized. To feel the physicality in its perfection. Because truly, the physicality is perfect. It is the mind that sometimes interprets and says, oh well, something could be a bit different, could be changed a bit. But in truth, the physicality is perfect at any moment because its maker is perfect. That is how powerful you are. You have seen and you have heard about instantaneous healing. You have participated in working with the hands-on healing, where you would feel the impetus of love from the heart through the hands onto another physical body. And with your love and your good wishes, if it is received, there will be healings, the same as happened when I walked the face of our Holy Mother, the earth. Because truly there is nothing that holds you back from complete healing, except your belief, generational belief that has been passed down from one generation to another, that says, well, watch out because you may catch a certain thing that is going around in the minds of friends or you may have a problem with some part of the body, because after all, the physical life, it has its challenges. This is what has been told you. And so you put it in there at some level, and at some point it resurfaces and says, well, how do you feel about this now? And what usually will come up is a bit of the manifestation of fear of, oh my goodness, where did that idea come from? Oh my goodness, something must be wrong. No, it's just an old thought that has been given to you, and you have stored it away. But at the same moment, the body is perfect. At the same moment, when the belief accepts your perfection, when your belief says, okay, I come into the alignment with my perfect self, then the body outpictures the perfection that truly you are in any moment. Now that is not said in any judgment. There is no judgment. It is just a matter of how you go. I would say it is a matter of fact. And it is, because facts can change. And you change them all the time. But you can change that fact, in quotation marks. You can change what has been given to you down through the generations. You have been taught that life is a struggle. You have been taught that you have to measure up. And you have been taught that no matter how hard you try, you probably never will measure up. But some of you have said, that is not true. That is not true of me. I know. Somewhere down deep in me, I know that is not true. And it has come to you over and over from various sources. And you have said, well, I guess it must be true because various people have told me this. And I've read the different text works that have said, well, at a certain age, range of age, these are the certain maladies that can happen. And so you have said, well, okay. Well, I was noticing the other day that, yes, I wasn't really seeing or hearing quite as well as I used to. And then the mind starts to play. It says, well, if that can be true, oh my goodness, I better go and get it checked out. And so you have already set in front of you the possibility that perhaps something could be wrong. And then you may go to one of your facilitators who has a long string of the initials after his name or her name. And they say, well, yeah, you might have a tendency that way. Yeah. Oh no. Oh my. I've got it. But in truth, you do not have it. In truth, the body is perfect. And you know this to be true. You know that to be true. Because there have been times when you have brought yourself into that alignment and you've been perfectly relaxed, perfectly at ease, and I'm speaking to all of you here, perfectly at ease with the body, and the body does not trouble you. There have been times, and I have seen you do this even in this day, where you would be so caught up in what was happening in front of you that you didn't even think about the body. Many times this happens, where the mind is taking in something that you're really caught up in, and for a moment or so, maybe longer, you do not feel the body, because you are very much here in the mind. So who's looking after the house while you are attending to something else? The perfection of you. That is why, as you have experienced, when you are in a relaxed state, perhaps thinking about something else, the body does not intrude. Now, I'm not saying that you have to take a vacation from the body. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying to you is that you are perfect. The body is your perfect servant. And it will, because it is your servant, it will bring to you exactly what you are thinking that perhaps you are experiencing. How do you change that? You have a saying in your world, practice, my girl, practice. You go in the meditation and you practice knowing your perfection. Because that is who and what you are. You are perfection. Okay, that was a rather long introduction. This evening, I want to speak with you about the value of your life, of a human life, but it could be another form of life. Does it really matter that you are here? Actually, that's a question. Does it really matter that you are here? On the earth, yes, in physicality, having experience. Yes, it would. It truly would all fall apart without you. Because you are making your reality moment by moment as you go. Right. So does it matter if you're here or you're not here? And it does to the ones who interact with you and who expect you to be in their association of life. Yes, it matters. Your life is a gift. It is truly a gift that you, as the point of the soul group that we've talked about other times, have chosen that you will be here to have experience, that you will have free will, which you do have. It gets a bit molded and shaped by the generational teaching and by what ones have said to you is important. And then you get perhaps a bit taller and you say, well, I don't know if that's really that important. That I have to, first thing in the morning, I have to comb the hair and brush the teeth. Wonder what would happen one day if I didn't comb the hair and brush the teeth. And you've tried it out, and you live to go the next day to comb the hair and brush the teeth. Yes. It is a gift. The life in physicality is a gift that you give to yourself to experience and to express the light that you are, the vibration that you are. And all of you are vibrating within a certain narrow bandwidth, as they call the vibration. This one is doing another bandwidth. He's vibrating. Yes, very definitely. That will come out on the tape, and the transcriber will wonder, how do I transcribe that? I jest with you. You're very good. You're playing your part perfectly. We had an agreement before this evening that he would play a certain part. He's doing it well. But yes, your life, the physical life, is a gift that you give to yourself to experience whatever in any time frame and to express the perfection truly that you are and the imperfection that you will say, I can overcome. I will come up over whatever the seemingly imperfection might be. So you interact with each other and you give to each other gifts of different experiences. Sometimes in the romantic love, I will speak about that for a moment or so because I know it well. I had a most wonderful romantic experience with my Mary. we were totally and completely in love from the moment that we met. There was an alignment that we felt, and a magnetic attraction, if you want to call it that brought us together into a higher vibrational frequency that you have known, all of you have known. And when you're in that space of that vibrational frequency, you want nothing else but that feeling. That is why you search for it. And it is truly one of the steps to coming to the place of knowing your perfection as love itself. Ones have often asked me the question, well, Jeshua, isn't that sort of a sidetrack if I get into romantic love and I feel that it is the end-all and be-all of everything? And doesn't that not take me off on a sidetrack where I no longer search for the true love that I am? And I have thrown the question back and I have said, how do you feel about that? And they have said, well, I love that feeling of being in love. Yes. Truly, you are not going to stop at that place because you are going to want more. And you will perfect it. You will live it. You will experience it. And if it happens to change form, as it will do from time to time, you still desire it. You still seek for it, search for it, want to know that feeling of love. And so it will take you to the next step or the next stage of wanting to know your true nature. Your true nature is to be totally alive in the expression of love. And romantic love is the first step. Well, maybe the second step. We'll go to friendship first, and then romantic love. And it is something that you fashion for yourself in order to know that there can be good. Because oftentimes in the family situations, there is not the experience of love. Oftentimes even well-meaning parents, because they want you to be as perfect as possible, they will give forth what they have been taught perfection has to be or should be. And sometimes those rules and the enforcement of the rules has not been so pleasant from time to time. And you have thought, because there is a faint memory, sometimes not so faint, of what home feels like, what love feels like. And the young one growing up, even the babe in arms, can feel the difference between love and non-love. And you are always searching for it to come home again. So when you find someone and in a romantic situation who looks at you and says, you are the most perfect person, I love you. And they look with the eyes of love. And you look at them and you return the love. And at that moment, it comes together in love, in what I'm going to call the first level of love. And then you go on to know the person better, to experience with them more and more. And you become very rich in the experiences. Sometimes you become more rich than you wanted to be if this one is perhaps coming from a different place. And yet there is love between you. So that you get to experience a whole range of romantic love. And it is good. Because oftentimes you get to hone, to kind of shave off the parts that are not like love and come to the core of love. And it may be when they are no longer in form sitting next to you or in the next room, it may be when they have moved on to somewhere that you begin to feel their presence and their love. And to know that truly what you shared with them was home. It was love. It was the first stages of, and very important. So when ones come to me and say, but human love, it is not really something to be sought. Isn't it a waste of time? Should I not be just meditating and coming to that place of love within myself? And I say to them, you can live that, and you have in many other of the incarnations where you stayed in the monastery and you perfected the meditative experience to the place where you disowned the body. But this lifetime, for the most part, you have come along and you have said, I want it all. I want the body. I want to know love. I want to know romantic love. And I want to go from that place to understanding my allness. And you will get there. So romantic love, yes, of course, you want that. Now you are whole and perfect at any time. So you do not need another one to complete you. But when you are in love, even in the first stages of it, it allows you to sometimes move out of yourself. You have had that feeling of being in love with someone or even something to the place where you forgot about yourself. They were the only thing that was important, and your attention was very much fixed on your perception of how you were and how they were with you. And it was, as I have said, a good first step. And then perhaps they did something to kind of tick you off. And you said, I have to think about that. And if they did enough of the things that ticked you off and you did a few things in retribution, you might come to the place where you say, okay, I think we have completed with each other, and you've gone your separate ways. And that is good. That is okay. Because you have gained a knowing of love, an essence of love. Even when they were really ticking you off. I've heard that expression. Yes, I don't know exactly what the ticking is, but I understand the feeling. So as you move from the place of desiring to know the divinity of yourself, as you move through human love, as great as it is, and it is, when it is good, it is very, very good. And when it is bad, it's not that great. Said like the true master that you are. Right. You have just witnessed one of the most wonderful aspects of love. Laughter. Being able to see past all of the little niggling things that might be happening. And let's face it, when we meet another one who is very much mirroring to ourselves something that we are knowing about ourselves, at least we get to know it, there is a tendency not to laugh until finally there is a feeling of, oh, what the heck? And you toss it all out the window and you say, why not laugh? And that changes the energy completely. It changes the energy to the place where you see things anew. Very good. What is the value of a human life? Why live a human life? Or if you are in another galaxy and you have another form that may not be quite the same human form, what is the value of physicality, of an incarnation? Because it's so much fun. True. To experience. It is a gift to yourself to be able to move, to have opportunity to know love, and to go beyond even the human love or the physical to a place of the allness of the love that you are. It is not to put down the human love, because the human love is as a doorway through which you walk at some time, at some point, into the allness that you are, into knowing that I am one with all that I see. I am in love with all that I see. And that kind of does a big change, because then I see myself. And I love myself. I see myself, and when I move through that doorway, I see that nothing in the human expression takes away from the allness of love. And there is such a rejoicing that you're back to the cosmic laughter. There is such a rejoicing that allows you to feel free. And that is truly what you are searching for, what you truly want. And that is why you search for the romantic love, because it is the first step, the first stage, to moving to the place where I and my brother, sister, are one. You are having that come up in front of you right now in your geopolitical activities. I and my brother, sister, are one. Have human incarnation, have human body, want the same things in life, no matter what the body looks like, no matter what the history, seemingly, is, or whether the form has been incarnated in this earthly plane, this earthly geographical place. No matter if your family has always been here, no matter if you have much of the golden coins, beyond the physicality, to the essence of who you are, all are the same. All are one in love. You're having that shown to you by a great teacher right now. A teacher who does not know that he is teacher, but he is. He is a great master who has volunteered to play a certain part. And he is so caught up in the part that he does not know that he's playing a part. And he is bringing it in front of everyone's eyes to see. How would it be if I acted that way? So, some of the ones who think they are in alignment with him, they are trying to act the same. But that's not going to last. That is not lasting. Only love abides forever. And they may act out, and it will be for a time, because upon this plane things are temporal and temporary. So it is changing and will change, because it is not going to stay the same. But it gives you great opportunity to see it acted out, and to see the expressions upon the face as the results don't seem to be exactly what he is thinking they're going to be. And he is in a place of questioning, a place of confusion. Why, if I give an order, which I used to do, even as recent as a year or so ago in my business, why is it not followed? Why are people raising up and saying something different? Why can they not see that I am speaking what needs to be followed through? Because you are all great masters, that is why. And you are all on a journey to come home again. To come home to the love that values oneness. And so, this journey sometimes takes a bit of the twists and turns. And right now you are seeing in stark contrast what happens when ones feel that they can make decisions and seemingly affect others, and have a lot of the independent thinkers thinking somewhat differently. And it is not being understood.
And the preposterous lies?
Yes.
Those are
the preposterous, yes, lies.
To see them for what they are?
Yes. It is a teaching method. It is a backdoor teaching method, but it is teaching. Yes. And this one who is putting forth the statements believes that that is how he wants it to be. And then there are other ones who see things differently, quite a few other ones, who are saying, no, I don't buy that. I'm not paying for that. I'm not having that. You live in a time right now of great change, opportunity for great change, and it will be happening. The only question is how fast it happens. It may take some generations yet, or not. That hasn't been resolved. That is yet open. But I do not prophesy. As you know, I've said this many times. I do not, because whatever I would say at one time, you will turn around and change it. Because you have free will. And that is a good thing. But truly, as it is seen now, there's a great momentum for change and for inclusion of ones coming together. Because ones have been through many lifetimes where there has been the warrior chief, the king who has perhaps inherited, but quite often has come through the battles in order to supposedly win his power or her power, because it has not always been the male. Oftentimes, in prehistory, as some of the young ones like to call it, a long time ago, there have been the women who made decisions, who were in power, as it is called. And yet you are always in your power. And that is what is coming to the forefront. Your power. Power of choice. So ones are making their voices heard. They are standing up to be counted. And not only in this geopolitical grouping, but across the face of our Holy Mother, the Earth. Ones are saying, we've been there, done that, complete. And so they are coming out to be counted. So, you have chosen this incarnation at this time to be part of the voice that speaks for oneness, that speaks for inclusion rather than division, that speaks for wanting to find commonality and to revere and respect a common source, capital S. It is most exciting time to be here. For some, it is a most fearful time because the future, as they see it, could hold threat to the way of life that they want to have. That is true for all. But there are enough voices, as it is seen now, who are choosing to know oneness, to know respect. Because the one who is playing at being leader has no respect for anyone beyond himself, and the measure of his respect for himself is minuscule. Part of the ingredients in all of this. If he had more respect for himself, he would know that others walk the earth the same as he. However, as I have said, you have chosen, and rightly so, because you have done it in other lifetimes, to be here at a time of change. Yes, I know. Why did I volunteer for this? You have volunteered because you are very strong. You know the difference between love and fear, between love and the opposite. But to get back to our topic for this evening, what is the value of a life? It is the opportunity to come home, the opportunity to be incarnate and at the same time to know all of the attributes of love with a capital L. This is the state of being that you have characterized as the Christ. Being incarnate and loving, knowing oneness with everything that you see in front of you, knowing that truly you are perfection, that you are love. Walking on the 2 feet, yes, reaching out with the 2 arms to hug others, to love them, to bring yourself to that realization that wherever I am is love, capital L. That is the value. You have opportunity in every hour, every minute, to arise up into that place of the Christ. The recognition that I am the Christ incarnate. And you are. I would suggest that you write that on one of your cards and you put it up on someplace you're going to see it every day. On your refrigerator, your mirror, somewhere. I am the Christ incarnate. Because you are. You have forgotten it. You have become so immersed in all of the mind activities, all of the worries and fears of the world, and leaving them, hopefully, behind, but working your way through them, that you have forgotten your essence. You have forgotten from whence you have come. You have forgotten who you are, what you are. I am the Christ incarnate. When I spoke unto you 2,000 years ago, I spoke to the Christ of you. We walked together, we laughed together, that laughter that you know deep within you. We laughed at everything because we knew that we were the Christ. Putting together our reality, lowercase r, for the sheer joy of it. Now the Romans did not always agree with that message. So it was a time quite similar to what you are having now, when there seemed to be ones with power over the body, over the incarnation. But as you have read the story, and as it has been passed down to you, one generation to another, I did not stay in the tomb. I had more fun to be enjoyed. I had to come out of the tomb to walk with my brethren again and sisters. I used to say cistern until it was pointed out to me that that is a certain type of well, I think. Yes. The transcriber will get the correct spelling with that. But anyway, I knew that there was much more joy. Yes, once in a while I try to be as you are and bring a bit of humor into the world. Laugh easily and often, because the Christ does. You can put.
I spent the afternoon singing the song Peanut Butter and Jelly. We just sang it over and over and laugh.
Yes. And peanut butter, great invention. And jelly, of all flavors. And you put them together and they are delicious and sticky. I am. What are you? You are love, exactly. You are the Christ, love, incarnate, that has gotten slightly covered over with the teachings that have been handed down to you. You're ones of the religious philosophical orders down through the times have again been swayed by power, wanting to have power, wanting to control. And so the message has been that there's only been one Christ. Well, that is not true. You are the Christ in many different forms, incarnate forms, trying to find each other, looking as one of the philosophers with his lantern. Are you the Christ? Yes, you are. Going to one to another and looking to see, are you the Christ? And yes, you are. You are the Christ, incarnate for a time, because you have said you will come and you will be outrageous enough to speak words to other ones that sometimes are a bit strange, and yet it awakens them. It is something that they have asked to know. And so you give them a crumb, you give them a clue, you maybe shake them up a bit, and they say, and then they say, well, maybe. And you've changed the route of the thinking. You are a very good example of that, as ones will come and speak to you in the certain line at your, what is it called, retail establishment. And they will truly be looking for love. But they may clothe it in the rags, the shabby clothes, the unkempt bodily form. And yet they are wanting you to see past that, to remind them, once again, that they are truly the Christ as well. Now, if you were to use those words, yes, they would go to his superior and say, who does he think he is? And you would say, I know who I am, which would not go over, and then you would be finding a new workplace. Yes.
Better at that, though. I say to them, why aren't you back in the cereal aisle? Or I see you do magical work.
Right. Exactly. Yes. I walk in your merchandising places, and I walk with some of your fellow Christ, and sometimes I whisper in their ear, who are you? What are you searching for? Are you going to find it on the shelf? And they're looking, and they're looking, and they're looking. And I don't find it exactly what I want. Of course they don't. They already have it. Yes, they are already the Christ incarnate. They are already much more than they could ever ask for, because they don't feel they can ask. The question is not even there. But then some outlandish person comes along in his Christhood, and he smiles at them. And they wonder, who's he smiling at? Uh-oh, I guess I better shape up. Okay. Because they have in the back of their mind something that they feel inadequate about. This one, and it's true of all of you, you come along and you look past all the appearance, and you see the angelic quality of them. You see their light. You see that little glimmer that they have kept tightly hidden inside of them. And you smile at them. And they're not so sure. And yet they like the smile, because they haven't maybe had many of those in their lifetime this time. And they treasure it, but they won't let you see that. But they treasure it. So keep on smiling and encourage other ones to smile, because life is good. Even with all of its question marks from time to time, it is good. The value of a life is the gift that you are always unwrapping, the gift that you are finding for yourself, that is yourself, the Christ of you. Lifetime after lifetime, you search, high and low, up in the clouds, is it there? Under the rocks, is it there? And all the time, it is right here. And you find that as you give it, more is given to you. In other words, it flows through you. And if you do not give it, it gets stopped up and it can't move. So give, love, laugh, because the Christ would. So be it.